Dave Martin. I'm a local resident and a very recent local resident who hitherto have been heading up the OurPlace programme. OurPlace is a programme which is run by the Department of Communities and Local Government, and it's overseen by an organisation called Locality. And basically it's about encouraging local communities, small communities, to be more in the driving seat with local services, whatever that might be. And we've been successful in receiving some money, at £17,000 at the moment, to work with partners, and they currently are Kent County Council, particularly adult social care, the libraries, and with the Ashford Clinical Commissioning Group, the CCG, NHS Commissioning Group, Y Surgery, the Y Free School, the Patient Participation Group, and Ashford Carers, and the Action with Communities in Rural Communities. It was really prompted by looking at, so what's it like to live in Y if you're age 60 and over. There is an amazing array of activities going on, some 65 societies and clubs, etc., etc. One or two particular clubs. There was a luncheon club until recently, and in the past there have been luncheon clubs, etc., etc. And I think the pubs used to do concessionary meals or whatever. What a number of people have said was, although there is a great deal of neighbourliness, there isn't at the moment a kind of hub, a kind of strategic centre or coordination of all the wonderful things that are actually taking place. This also fits with the local services view that they're not really in touch with ordinary people, as it were. It's a bit like a cliff edge moment when you might suddenly need services. So the idea is to be trying to connect a more, hesitate to use the word preventative, but a kind of planning, thoughtful, supportive approach with people who might need services down the track, but to try and avert that. Basically, it's about supporting people to live as independently as possible within their own homes. That's the overarching thing. The glue I hope it won't be glue, but the glue of this is around social eating. People have really felt that there's a lack of a fun, interesting place they feel comfortable going to that gives nutritious, good value meals. You pick up gossip or whatever. It's a go-to place, and the idea is to try and create some kind of social eating environment, whether that's a full-blown community cafe or not. We've yet to see. The meeting today was the first reference group meeting. The reference group is really a coming together of all the people who've expressed an interest in the OurPlace Y project, as well as representatives from the partner organisations as well. Today was a very informal gathering of, so where have we got to? We only heard at the end of July that we've got the funding, what's happening, what are the next steps, how to get involved. The people that particularly were present and were able to say something was from the NHS CCG group. It was Paul Ellams, Clinical Commissioning Group, Paul Ellams, who's the Practice Liaison Officer, Peter Marsh, who's been leading on Kent County Council's Dementia Awareness Programme, Rob Dudley, who's the chair of the Village Hall Management Committee, and I think that may have been it actually. We have some money and some focus and working with partners over the coming months, and we're aiming to try and produce a plan by November which will be operational post-April next year. So it's not a quick fix, a quick win. We may well be planning for some time ahead. The next steps are really the involvement of people in the community, particularly those who would most benefit for using some of these facilities and being involved with those facilities, and looking at the business case for the different parts of the programme. Stacking up, is it robust? Does it have a business plan? Is it going to be sustainable? This is something for the future. the overall quest is, how do we create a village which we would want for our great-grandchildren? And what do we learn from people who have been so resilient to date? There are over 5 people who in the last census were aged over 100. How do we learn about being a resilient community, as well as what does resilience mean for us as individuals?